Hi everyone and welcome to my place. I'm on a path to encourage little children to love the great botanical outdoors. As a child, that's where I learnt my love. I spent a lot of time with my nan and my great aunts, and I also spent a lot of time playing outside. And for many years, I actually thought my name was "You kids get outside and play." I see the kids, I see the grandchildren, I see their eyes light up when they come to my place and they come into the studio, and I've got things everywhere. So I thought this year, why don't I make it my mission to help you guys inspire your grandchildren or your children to get into the great outdoors and to actually see things. And what's beautiful is I love to see what kids do and what they see and their concept of nature. So this is really what it's all about. And as a child, I must also say, we had a pond and there were dragonflies and there were frogs and tadpoles and all sorts of things. And jars would go down and we would gather these beautiful, beautiful things that were floating around and living in this wild wetland. And of course, when we got them home, my mother used to say, "Now you go and put them back because that's not nice for them to live out of their environment." So you learn things along the way. Right, let us get started. This container I did ages and ages ago, and it's called Froggy Meadow Greens, and it is redesigned transfers. And it's just a vase that I painted white, and then I placed these little lovely froggy, marshy, meadowy sort of like designs onto the outside of it. So that's my start. You don't have to use a container like this. I'm sure the children will be inventive, but over the time that we do this series, I'm sure they will find things. Okay, so this is my interpretation of I've gone down to the wetlands or the marshlands, and this is what I've gathered. So I've got my container, which is the beginning of my story. I've also got this lovely stick, and I love that stick, and I just thought, well, that's quite cool. I'm just going to put that in there because it's sort of kind of like giving me a base for a story. I'll get rid of that because I do not want to destroy it. The next thing I want to put into there, if you didn't have one of these, you could actually put something like this into there and just give it a little bit of height. Now, the only issue with this is it is going to move, so you're going to have to, well, I'm sure that the kids will work out where they want to put it, but if it's going to be too swingy, this is about time that you teach the children about balance. So I will just whip those bits off, and I'm going to keep that bit there because I quite like it. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that in and over to there, and this one can go in and over to there. Much better. I've got control of it. Okay, now before I go any further, this is the base that I want to sit it on, and I like setting things onto bases so that you just have this lovely transition of, so that's going to sit down there and I can put things around there. Oh yes, this is looking good. And I like the wood that is on the base here. That's going to be perfect for all the gatherings that I find. Okay, the next thing is some grasses. Look at those grasses. They are just too cute. So I'm just going to put those into there. And then when you're with the kids, get them looking at these things. The grasses grow all together. So bind them to be all together and letting them know that one big statement is going to be much better than little tiddly bits all around. But look, it's whatever they want to do. This is just my way of encouraging people to get the kids out there and into the garden. So I've got those there. So I'm going to put those in. And I've also got, what else have I got here? I've got a little bit of this that I'm just going to shove into there. And of course, that is in the design around the exterior. So I'm just going to bring that down and into there like so. And I've got two pieces. Whoa, toadstools are making a noise. So, and that bit can just go over to there. So it's all grouped and in one place. Look at that. It just looks like I'm at the pond. I love it. Okay, what else have I got here? Oh, this here. It's free. It comes from the side of the road and it's called fennel. But before we get to that, I've also got some lovely reedy grass. Look at that. And that's exactly what you would see at the pond. So I'm just going to push that down and into there to just give it a little bit of softness. Isn't this just the best kind of designing? It's like going back to being a child. I say we have to do more of it. Okay, let's get a little bit of this. And this smells gorgeous. Now, it's a little bit too tall, or is it? No, it's not. I'm just going to bring that down and into there like, oh, look at that. Free flowers from the garden, from the side of the road. This is the kind of designing I like. Now, the other thing you're going to have to encourage the wee people is to get rid of anything that's hanging or could catch, so that when you put it into your vase, look at that. Isn't that just delicious? Oh, I feel like I've gone back to when I was 5 years old, or was I 6? I don't know how old I was, but I do remember doing things like this. And my nan will tell you that it took me away from under her and her feet, so that I was well occupied and she knew exactly where I was. So I'm just going to bring that little bit round there like so. Now I've got some little lily pads. So I'm going to put one down there and I'm going to put one up onto there, only because I feel like it. Now let me just get rid of these here so that we don't have a big mess. Now I've got some lovely mossy pads here, so I'm going to put those down there. I've got this here, so I'm just going to bring that down there so that the design comes down onto the placement surface. I've got some little moss balls, so I'm going to bring those up and into there. I love it. And then I've got a little frog, so I'm just going to put the frog down there so that it's sort of hiding, because that's what frogs do. And I've got a couple of little toadstools, so I'm just going to bring one into there and the other one can just nestle into there like so. If you had something bigger like this, you could put that into it, but about now I think if I do that it's going to fall, so I'm not going to bother. But how easy is that? This is great designing and a great way to get the children to see through their eyes what they discover when they're out and about in the great outdoors, and bring them home and then do a nice design with them. I think they'll love it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed sharing it with you, and I'll see you again another day.